Hey, welcome to our review for the test, which I'm going to post on Monday. I'll actually post Sunday, today, the 29th. It'll I'm going to give you to Tuesday, the 31st at 5 p.m. So you've got all day Tuesday to take. I'm going to make this as easy as possible for you, but you have to listen. We already have a situation where I know you weren't listening and can't tip it off yet in case some of you are a little bit behind, but I'll tell you about it on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I've updated everybody's scores. So you right now should be at a total of 160 points possible. So if you are at, it's easy to do the math, right? 160 is our total number of possible points. 160, you're looking for an A in this class. Right now you'd be at 144 or higher. You'd be at 128 or higher for a B, 112 or higher for a C. If you are below 112, you have a D or worse. And the reason that would be is if you haven't turned an assignment in. I put about 4 zeros for assignment 3 into the books. And so for some of you, that's the difference between a letter grade and where you are right now. Keep in mind for these assignments, we'll have 5 of them. There's going to be 2 more of those. So 5 assignments that'll add up to 100 points total. So think of it this way. If you don't do one, the best you can do is 80 out of 100 because you get a 0 on that one. If you don't do 2, you're at 60 out of 100. So that's like putting a 6. That's like taking a 60 on the test. So as you look at these as 20-point assignments, and really, for the most part, you're getting an 18 or 19 or 20 on everything you do, which is an A or higher. But you got to do them. And so if you turn them in late, you get dinged for turning them in late. But I would say this: if you still haven't done assignment 3, get it turned in because something is better than nothing. Because again, if you do great on all the others, you're still at an 80 out of 100 at the end. And then remember, on the message board, some of you have just completely fallen off the grid on the message boards. That's going to be worth 50 points to you at the end of the semester. 45 out of 50 is an A, 40 out of 50 is a B, 35 out of 50 is a C, below 35 is a D or worse, and that is completely incumbent on your participation. So if you've been participating every day that we have posted something or putting something on your own, you'll get a 50. If you've been kind of participating and every now and then, you might get a 40 to a 45. If you haven't done anything, which some of you haven't, would be less than a 35. So again, it's pretty easy when you look at the total number of points available. Remember, if you looked at that one of the videos, you'll remember this card I have in my hand here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 test questions that we're going to have. Just want to go over a little bit. I'm not sure what to put on here so you guys don't have to stare at me the entire time. We can go to our Blackboard homepage. Look at that, and then I'm going to give you the test questions. I had to change my password. Also, always kind of a pain in the rear here at Texas Tech when you have to change that password every so often. So here we are. That's where your current state is on Blackboard. So let's go over some of the questions. On some of these questions, I'm even going to tell you the chapter and the slides that it'll be from. I'm not sure I could make it any easier than that. So know what promotion is. Remember back to our leadership and what the term means to influence people. Remember Jamie Lent and his radio interview about his radio station and the value of radio. Remember the Steve Jobs video that we watched. Remember the Netflix video that we watched. Go back to that video where I talked about demographics, psychographics, geographics, those type things, and know the difference in those. There's a load of questions on that. Remember my story about Las Vegas and what we talked about there. Remember what Nielsen does. Remember some of the radio terms that we have. Remember who does the television ratings. It's Nielsen. Remember the difference between share and rating. It's a big couple times on the test. Remember some of the terms we talked about for radio that are very specific for radio. Know who's doing radio measurements. Again, go back to ratings and shares. There are all kinds of ratings and share questions in there. Remember some of those old school network programming ideas that we talked about, and hammocking and those type of things. And remember the difference between network and first run syndication. Remember about barter. Again, remember that off-network syndication means it ran on a network first. Remember that about shows like Friends and Modern Family. They ran on a network first, and now they're in syndication. Hammocking, tent polling, stunning, those different things. Remember how radio kind of differentiates itself. There's a couple of other questions. Remember that radio is still a very strong profit margin for stations. Outsourcing, downsizing, flattening, those type of things. Again, I had a lecture in chapter 6, and I'll tell you this again. When I get a lot of resumes, first thing I do is look for a reason not to hire you. And so we go finish up to there. And again, remember some of the issues in programming. There's intense competition. There's rising costs. There's regulatory concerns. Remember those things about programming. So again, if you watch the videos, if you just take the time to look in the slides or watch the videos for the questions, you should do well here on test number 2. We're almost done with this class. I'll have assignment number 4 here for you on Tuesday. We'll have assignment number 5 later in the week. We'll go a couple days into next week. We'll have test 3. Bam, we're done. Summer 2 is done. We're on our way to the fall. So let me know if you have any questions about the test. I'll give you plenty of time to take it. If you have disability needs, I have entered that into the testing as well. I'm highly optimistic that you're going to do well on test number 2. Thanks.